Welcome to Revelation Unraveled. I'm your host, William Tapley, also known as the third eagle of the apocalypse and the co-prophet of the end times. Several years ago, in fact, less than a month after President Barack Obama was inaugurated, a series of plane crashes occurred which I believe are significant in these end times. The number of people killed in these tragic incidences all included biblical numerology. For example, the number 44 was prominent. That is the number of Barack Obama in Bible prophecy. And the number 153 was even more prominent. That is the number for Mary's Rosary in Bible prophecy. Let's take a look at Genesis 3:15 and the Gospel of John. John 21, verse 11. Simon Peter went up and drew the net to land full of great fish, 153. Now these 153 fish symbolize the number of Hail Marys in a complete three-mystery rosary in these end times. And in Genesis 3:15, which is also called the Proto-Evangelium, we see the same number in the chapter and verse, except they are reversed. 3:15, 15:3. And Genesis 3:15 describes how Mary will crush the head of the Antichrist. Now what is really amazing about these plane crashes, which occurred back in 2009, is not only that they involve biblical numerology, not only that they occurred less than a month after Barack Obama's inauguration, but the pattern is beginning to repeat itself this year, just before the election of 2012. Let's take a look at the first of these airplane crashes, which occurred February 12th near Buffalo, New York, where 44 passengers, 4 crew members, and 1 retired pilot lost their lives. Following this Buffalo tragedy on February 12th, there was a Yemeni plane crash on June the 30th of 2009 involving 153 passengers and crew. 152 were killed and 1, a young girl, was miraculously saved. Now shortly after the Yemeni plane crash, there were 2 more significant air disasters, each involving the number 153. On July 15th, there was a Caspian plane crash. 153 passengers, 15 crew, and all were killed. On July 24th, there was an Aleutian plane crash involving 153 passengers and crew, of which 16 were killed. In addition to these major airliners crashing, there was a collision between a helicopter and a Piper Cub. Following the Aleutian plane crash, a helicopter and a Piper Cub collided over New York City on August 8th. 1 pilot was killed, 5 tourists, and 3 members of the same family in the Piper Cub. Please notice once again that 153 biblical number. Now what we have to be concerned about is this pattern of airplane crashes seems to be repeating this year in 2012. What is the significance? Is God sending us a warning about these end times? This year, a little less than a month ago in Indonesia, 44 passengers and 1 pilot were killed on a demonstration flight of a new Russian airplane. Does this correspond to the 44 killed in 2009 in Buffalo? Just a few days ago, on June 13th, a plane crashed in Lagos, Nigeria, with 153 passengers and crew, and all were killed. Does this correspond to the Yemeni plane crash back in 2009, in which there were 153 passengers and 1 was miraculously saved? As I have been saying all along, President Barack Obama is one of the beasts in Bible prophecy. He is the leopard in Daniel 7, verse number 6. The leopard has 4 heads and 4 wings. That indicates Barack Obama. A leopard is a mixture of black and white colors. That indicates the race of Barack Obama. And Daniel says that the leopard is given dominion. And the president was given dominion 4 years ago when he was elected, and back in 2009 in January when he was inaugurated. That was a fulfillment of Bible prophecy. We also know from Bible prophecy that the Antichrist will be defeated by Mary's rosary. Now the question is, can Barack Obama be defeated by Mary's rosary? We know that 444 is followed by 666, which is the Antichrist. However, that is always followed by the number 555, which also signifies Mary's rosary. Is that the lesson which we are to learn from these tragic plane crashes? So, in conclusion, I hope and pray the Lord does not have to allow any more plane crashes for us to learn our lesson. And the lesson is that it will take much more than the 3 hours currently running against Obama to defeat a beast in Bible prophecy. The 3 R's, of course, are Romney, maybe Rubio, and the Republicans. The only 3 R's that are going to defeat Barack Obama are revival, repentance, and the rosary. And as always, I offer a free copy of my book, Revelation Unraveled, to anyone who is interested. Simply write to the address you see on your screen, or you can post a comment below this video, and I will send a message to your channel.